A tunnel adds interest and allows for a change in the terrain. Here's a quick way to add both a tunnel and mountain. Select a piece of drain pipe that is no smaller than 12 inches in diameter and no longer than your arm's length. Remove a straight section of track where your tunnel will go and bury a few inches of the pipe in the ground. Make sure that you leave enough vertical clearance for your tallest train when you place the pipe on the ground. Use soil, bricks, or rocks to hold the sides of the pipe in place while you add dirt for more support. We'll continue landscaping the tunnel later. Replace the track and ballast inside the pipe. Make sure it's straight and the connections are tight. There are many ready-made tunnel entrances, known as portals, on the market. Talk to the people at your hobby shop about the style you like best.
There's vertical.
Now that all the track is down, it's time to make the connection to the power pack that runs your trains. If you've decided to place your power pack farther from the track than the wire that came with your set will allow, talk to the people at your hobby shop and get the right size and type of wire to extend the distance. Different manufacturers connect the wires to the track in different ways. Just make sure that you follow their instructions. Once the wire is connected, it's time for the last step: converting the electricity in your home to the safe, low DC voltage for your railroad. This low voltage is the same power used for outdoor garden lighting. Although each manufacturer's power pack may look different, they all basically do the same thing. They allow you to control your train's speed and direction with safe, low voltage electricity. The power pack is the only part of your railroad that you can't leave outdoors. If you can't put the power pack into a weather-resistant box, use an outdoor controller or place the unit indoors near a window so you can watch your railroad operate during inclement weather. Always follow the manufacturer's safety steps when you connect the wires to the power pack. Once the power pack is connected, you're ready to run your first train. One of the best parts about garden railroading is that the wheels on the cars are easy to put on the track. Just from the feel of the wheels and the track, you can tell if you have the train on the rails correctly. Now it's time to give your train the first test run. Don't go too fast until you get the feel of your railroad. One of the best parts of your railroad is that you can add as much detail as you like. Buildings of all kinds are available in both kits or ready-built. Most are made with UV-resistant materials for protection from the sun. The kits are not only fun to build, but you can paint them and personalize them to fit your railroad. You can build a pad for your buildings, or you could use a stepping stone. Later, add roads for miniature cars so that your passengers can get to the station. And speaking of people, there are hundreds of scaled, detailed people to bring your railroad to life. Where you put them and how you use them is up to you. Here are some of the ways that others have added more detail to their railroads. Now that you have a railroad, it's time to start on the plants and scenery. Because your part of the country may or may not allow for the plants that we're using, you should pick what grows best where you live. Talk to the people at a garden center near you and get their advice. And a great source for gardening advice is Garden Railways magazine. Every issue has a section on plants for the railroad. Get your copy at a hobby shop. These are some plants that look nice on garden railroads. Because it is a garden and a railroad, you'll have your own ideas as to what will look best and grow well. The guiding rule is to keep the plants in scale with your railroad. Look particularly for dwarf versions of shrubs and plants that can be pruned into scale-sized trees for your layout. Boxwoods and junipers are particularly good for this. Start with shrubs and ground cover, then add small flowering plants. Most grass is too large to look natural for garden railroads. You need to experiment with other ground covers. Herbs like creeping thyme and mints can work well. Bark mulch can also be used for ground cover, but with many hardwood mulches, some pieces are too big and bulky and may look out of place. Talk with your garden center. Try mini bark mulch or crushed seashells as an alternate. Rocks are also an important part of your landscape. They can be found along a roadside as well as at your local landscape stores and quarries. A well-placed rock or two can add interest to a layout. Well, that's it. Now you have your own garden railroad and you built it together. Remember, the tracks will occasionally need to be cleaned with a sanding block or a track cleaner locomotive. There are hundreds of engines and cars that you can add to your railroad over time. There are also lots of accessories that will make your railroad more fun to run. A visit to your hobby shop and a copy of the latest issue of Garden Railways magazine will give you ideas of things you can add to your railroad. Traditionally, at the end of construction, a golden spike party is held to celebrate with family and friends your hard work, creativeness, and family togetherness. Enjoy your garden railroad as it changes day after day. What it grows into is up to you. But no matter how big your railroad gets, this is the fun hobby that will grow with you.